Good afternoon. This is Jane Hoffman. I run the podcast Political Gravity. Tonight we will have John Yoder and Don Gallimore on the line. Our One of our favorite hosts, Suzette, is vacationing in Arizona. There's 3 or 4 topics that are critical to our show's presentation. The first one is a seaside cafe in Gaza which was obliterated. That's Trump's favorite word. It was it was annihilated by the Israeli Navy during a children's birthday party, and 33 women and children yesterday were killed during a birthday party. It's very sad, and I really don't know what Israel's end game is. They're not gaining any worldwide respect out of this. The war's over. The place is toast. I don't know what they want. Secondly, the big beautiful bill has approximately 10 wavering votes. They're in something called similar to a filibuster, but that's not what they're calling it. And one of the leaders of the Senate made the whole 94-page bill be read out loud. And now they're debating it inch by inch and deciding what needs to be tinkered with, what doesn't, and if it's passable. However, it would be impossible to meet the July 4th deadline because if the Senate does pass it, it has to go back to the House for approval. And then I'm going to play a quip about Idaho snipers. And I'm playing it right now, John. And I'm going to be, it's a very detailed information. So I have to switch screens for a second. So just bear with me, okay?
Oh, okay.
It's about 3 minutes long. Thank you.
Firefighters on Sunday has left many questioning what could possibly be the motive for such a heinous act. But one theory has gripped the internet. In the afternoon on June 29th, first responders were called to a small but active brush fire on the east side of Canfield Mountain near Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. As fire crews moved in to tackle the blaze around 2 p.m., bullets suddenly rained down, fired by an unknown assailant hiding in the woods, officials said. The grisly scene was captured in harrowing 911 audio as firefighters were pinned down by the crazed shooter.
There's an active shooter at a fire. There's essentially 2 battalion chiefs down. They're shot. There's BC3's down. BC1's down. Everybody's shot up here. Law enforcement, code 3 now up here. Then immediately up here, we've got 2 unresponsive battalion chiefs, gunshot wounds, multiple gunshot wounds.
The horrific ordeal ended about 5 hours later when SWAT teams discovered the lifeless body of the shooter.
John?
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear it?
No, actually, I can't.
Yeah, I thought I had to change screens on my phone, so it's going to be like 1 more minute and then I'll bring you back in, okay? I'll tell you what happened. Okay, 1 second.
Next to his firearm on a popular tourist trail, according to police. On June 30th, the shooter was ID'd by police as Wes Rowley. It was confirmed that a Coeur d'Alene firefighter and a Kootenai County Fire and Rescue member lost their lives in the sudden strike, while a third firefighter was left fighting for life after surgery, but is now in stable condition. Kootenai County Sheriff Robert Norris said in a news conference.
We do believe that the suspect started the fire, and we do believe that it was an ambush.
I'm fast forwarding to the history part.
Aryan Nation leader Richard Butler was forced to sell the site in a bankruptcy sale after being ordered to pay a Native American woman $6.3 million as part of a lawsuit, after the hate group's security guards had opened fire at the woman, Victoria Keenan, when she stepped outside the building with her son in 1998. Keenan bought the dilapidated compound for $95,000 and sold it to a local philanthropist who let the local Coeur d'Alene Fire Department burn it down as part of a training exercise.
So, John, you're back on the air. So we do believe, even though the gunman was very young, Wes Rowley, 24 years ago, there was a standoff in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, or around that area, in which the Aryan nation had their own building that they housed and met and had meetings. And apparently, the government was infringing upon them on some level, like they were, either being physically threatened or or they were giving like they could no longer be in that area. So there was guns involved, and they pointed their guns at a Native American woman and her son. And the leader of the Aryan nation was forced to sell the building. And then after he sold it, she bought it with her $6.3 million settlement for $95,000 only. And then she ordered the local fire department to burn it down in a training exercise. So basically, it was probably bitterness involved, and she was angry at that group. I'm not sure if that Aryan Nation group caused any direct harm in the neighborhood. Maybe they just had beliefs that didn't coincide. But that was we're thinking, or the news people are thinking, that there's a correlation because it was a 24th anniversary day. What do you think?
Well, obviously they're very mad, right? So sometimes people suppress stuff, and then when it bubbles up, they do things that you would never think are rational. I mean, I've been angry at times in situations where you would think, well, just blow this thing up, or spill paint on this or that, or flatten their tires, and then in the moment of thinking of anger, and then you think back later, you go, what's that going to prove? They're just going to walk outside and go, oh, slash my tires. Oh, it's all better now. It's like, no, it's not better. In a moment we do stupid things.
So in that situation, in which, let's remember, someone took that beautiful car cover off your car, you don't necessarily know who it was, but let's say it's somebody who did it. Is your anger stronger when you know who the person is?
I would think so, because then you think but that's the worst situation, because then if you know who did it and you know where they're at, what are you going to do? I'll give an example. I go to an office, want something from a company, I need a copy of this or that, and they don't give me a copy, and then I'm upset and I make a big scene. I want to see your manager, I need this now, whatever the thing is, right? And we run into those all the time. I want to pick up some mail at the post office. And it's like, well, we won't let you in. It's 5 o'clock and 30 seconds. You won't let me in. Like, I'm here right now. Just let me. I just want to pick up. No, you got to come back tomorrow. No, I spent half an hour driving out here. It's going to be another hour of my time. It's like, it only takes 10 seconds and you run into these situations, and like, how do you respond? Well, you blow up the post office, smash all the windows. Does that really? Half the time, the things we think will resolve it, there's a disconnect. People show up at work, and the next thing they go, man, this is terrible. What an unsafe planet we live in, that people would smash a window just because of 10 seconds or a minute.
Well,
right?
I remember that story because I think that was the day that you were going to get a passport renewal, possibly. But either way, you had to go across town to get something out of your mailbox.
We do it every week, right? You're going to Ralph's, and it's like 1:45, or like you're in LA, and they'll be like, oh, we're not letting people in. It's like, you have 15 minutes to go. Yeah, well, we're shutting down. We don't want people shopping late. It's like, yeah, I have 10 minutes. I can get in and out. And then you get in, and it's like after 5 minutes, like the system will be shutting down in 5 minutes. It's like, there's 15 to go. I was there last night, same store, and they ran it all the way till 1. It's just a matter who's on shift, right? And if they want to leave home early, or who knows, maybe they got reprimanded.
Like what their attitude is.
And the big question is, a person thinks, in our weird thinking, if I go back and retaliate, like these people, they kill someone or they bomb a building, they think it's going to satisfy that temporary need. But in the big picture, no one learns from it. Like if I go to work and they blow up a 99er because they didn't get what they want, I sit there and go, what a sick person that is, right?
Well, philosophically, I have a bigger question for you.
Yeah.
So, the guy, Wes Mosley or whatever his name is, the one who he started the brush fire in Idaho that lured the firemen there. So I'm going to take two news stories, one international and one United States, and I'm going to ask you a bigger question. The man started the brush fire. He lured a great number of firefighters there. I'm sure there was at least 12. He killed 2 and injured 1. Then we have Gaza, who for some reason they want our help. And here's Don, just a second. Just a minute. Okay, I'm merging the call. Don, you're on the air. I'm in the middle of a parable. Hi, Don.
Go ahead. Hi.
Hi, Don. I'll finish the parable. So we have this Idaho sniper who kills 2 firemen for political reasons, and then we have the nation Netanyahu, who decides to bomb a seaside cafe full of women and children who are not the Hamas, and the whole country's in shambles. What is the point? Well, the question is how can our lives collectively be improved when there's individual killers out there, there's global killers, and people are saying that they're doing these violent actions for the security of their nation or the security of their neighborhood. What is the overall big question? John first, Don second.
Well, are we talking in regards to
we're just talking about how more killing and more violence, how is that going to strengthen communities around the world or create more imaginary security when everything's falling apart, basically?
Right. Well, I was looking at a little research, and one thing I try to do with any of these things is read, 5 pages before, 5 pages after, or one article to the side, and because you get different perspectives. Like example, they're doing bombings based on the generals in Israel. The IDF or whatever they call themselves. So they have certain strategic points, like we need to bomb this place because we have terrorists here, or there's a hidden missile thing, or whatever. Whatever their strategy, their intel tells them. So they're doing, some of the stuff. Is it terrorism? Maybe. I don't know. I think the main thing is they want to knock out strategic things. However, I've also noticed in some of the articles, they've told people, leave this area, go south or go west.
They weren't, just so you know, they weren't warned this time. There was no warning.
Right, but in general, they've been told, go north, like get out of there. And people are staying. So there might also be a thing of like, we're just going to blow things up and you're going to have to get out. Like we've told you already. Like I don't know on the ground exactly living there. Have they gotten notices? Is it on the radio? If I see you and me, right? If you get if they blow up the house like a mile away from you, and they've been doing this for like a year, are you going to hang around or are you going to get out?
I'm getting the heck out of Dodge, but there's not a lot of places to hide.
True. But what I'm saying is now people are going, listen, why are they bombing us? It's like because they're at war and you need to get out. But if you hang around, they're just saying, well, look at what happened to me. Now I'm not saying they're at fault. I'm just saying there's that side to it. If you know trouble's going down, get out. War is not fair. Now where can they go to? I don't know. Probably nowhere. No one wants them. Israel doesn't want them. All the other countries, Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, nobody wants them. So that is a dilemma. Like what
they're completely dependent on international agencies to airlift food into their area. They're only dependent on like UN. Wade's calling in just a minute. Okay, now we have Wade, Don, and John on the air, and thank you, Wade.
And you have the situation where people are bringing in food, but terrorists start shooting up for it. Soldiers start taking the food. It's not allocated very properly, so that's a whole mess.
Well, I would say that was more true in the beginning of the war, not now. But let's say hi to Wade because he hasn't called in 6 months, and then touch base with Don. Hi, Wade.
Hey, you guys.
Nice to hear your voice.
Welcome back.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Wade had an animated, I think it was an animated film or something that won an award.
Oh, the recent one I posted, that was a web series. It was live action. It wasn't animated.
Okay, like
I was on the writing team for it, and it won best comedy and something like that.
Was it human? Was it human actors?
Yeah, it was human actors. Yeah, it was live action.
What was the name of the contest? Like, was it Christian, secular, organization?
I'm sure it was secular. Let me, I'll pull it up again. Hold on. It was actually, I didn't enter it. My friend entered it, and then he posted
Okay,
it.
you don't have to tell me right this minute. You can tell me during the show.
Oh, I found it. Yeah, I got it. I just had to pull up his, winner, best comedy, television feedback, screenplay, and web series festival, 2025.
That's great. It sounds pretty big.
Yeah. So what you see in the poster, that's like what the film looked like. It was, I think, shot on DSLRs, live action.
Can I see it on YouTube?
Yes. I remember he did post it. That's right. I haven't looked at it in a while. I put it on one of my playlists. I think I put it on, if you know, my channel is the Modern Da Vincian.
I'm a member of, I'm a subscriber.
Yay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can go to my playlist, and there's a playlist for, where's my...
Just a minute. Don, you're back on the air. So, Don, is your phone fully charged?
It's charging up.
No, I said Don.
Oh, Don.
His call's already dropped.
Oh, bummer.
Well,
okay, so the playlist is called Mythos Films and Collaboration.
Okay.
It's one of the videos on the playlist.
Okay, I'll look at it after the show.
Sure.
So I'm going to bring Wade and Don up to speed. John and I were on the air in the beginning. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. So we talked about a seaside strike in Gaza in which the people were not warned, and a child's birthday party, they were massacred by the Israeli Navy seaside, and it was all women and children. And then we moved on to the big beautiful bill. Still, you guys please eliminate the background noise. The big beautiful bill is missing 10 votes in the Senate, so it may not pass. They have to persuade 9 or 10 more people to vote for it. And then there was a lone gunman in Idaho who killed 2 firefighters. After he set a fire, he ambushed them. And it was in correlation to an Aryan race building that burned 24 years ago. They think, they don't know for sure, that was taken away by the government, in which a Native woman was almost killed. She won a $6 million settlement. She bought the Aryan Nation building and then burned it down she gave the firefighters a place to practice firefighting, and they burned it down. It's a long story, but basically the guy killed himself after he killed the firefighters. So first he killed the firefighters, he injured one who's still alive, and then later up on the trail that day on Sunday, yesterday, he killed himself, and he doesn't look any older than 25 or 30. So did anybody pay attention to that? Anybody can pitch in now.
I hadn't heard that story.
Yeah, how about you, Don? Are you? Is everything going okay with your phone? Don? Oh God. Okay, well, anyways, we're talking about violence around the world and how things constantly are interfering with others. And I think Don's call dropped again. I can't look right now, but does anybody have any else pertinent on their mind? It doesn't have to be violence, but anything that's going on in the world that's disruptive, including the sudden attack in Iran?
There needs to be more condemnation of the attack on October 7th. So we need to, I think, condemn all massacring and, I kind of people just skipped over caring about that and, went to condemning Israel's response. But, also there should be lots of condemnation for what happened then and the ongoing just trying to wipe Israel out and not accepting that Jews exist.
I think the problem that I see, Wade, is it's going in October of 2025. It'll be 2 years since that attack, and people consider what Israel did to Gaza as disproportional, like the number of people who have died versus the ones who were abducted and killed. And we all know it was terrible and tragic. And I'm a Christian. I support the Jewish survival and the Jewish race and even Zionism. However, I am a Catholic pacifist, even though I'm not a member of the Catholic Church, but I equate my war values to that. And I think with Israel just not being able to behave as far as doing ceasefires, and then they rando struck Iran out of the blue, and we're upset about that. Suzette said last week they just expected the United States to pitch in and finish the job in Iran, attacking the facilities. And I don't know if that was their ideology, but it still happened that way. And now there's talk that the Iranian enrichment program is still maybe hidden or not fully dismantled. So I'll let John go because he has a lot of background in Israel.
Well, there's a couple things to. One is that Hamas runs Gaza, so that's the problem. In other words, Israel has killed over 50,000 people. So it's 50 to 1, basically, the kill rate, which means they're good at it. Their precision, they could just wipe out everything. If they really wanted to genocide them, they could just totally annihilate everyone. They're blowing up strategic things and telling people just get out of there. So the problem is Hamas runs things. So they don't care if they blow up hospitals. When food arrives there, they don't care if it gets stolen or taken, or if there's more violence there, because they just want terror and they want to kill every Jew. So the problem is you're trying to have a controlled, logical, fair, humanitarian situation when you're dealing with terrorists who want to annihilate you. So they're annihilating back, and it's terrible. I mean, I think it's really bad. I think maybe at some point they should just say, listen, we're getting too much negative publicity. Like Trump said, let's have a ceasefire. We bombed away. We have airspace superiority. So let's just pump the brakes here. I think at this point now they're creating some PR nightmare. I'm not saying they're not justified. I'm just saying the world's not going to understand it. So there's a certain point. Like with example, Trump wanted to slash all these budgets, and Elon went along with it, and he was happy. But Elon's approach is cut 80% of the country and we'll save money. Trump has to keep the ship going. So he's like, okay, we need to back it up, back off, have a big beautiful bill, survive, right? And Elon's like, no, must slash 80%. People must die. He went robot. He went crazy off of it, right?
And he's still made a lot of comments this week about it.
Oh yeah. And he's half right. I mean, yeah, they need to cut the budget. Yeah, it's fiscal suicide, but you can't revive someone. When you pull someone off of the bottom of the ocean, you can't just pull them up to regular sea level. They'll die. It's too fast. You have to do it in steps. So it took 20, 30 years to get into this mess. It's going to take a good 2 or 3 to 5 just to gravitate back to reality.
I just want to know, Don is on the air. I think he muted himself. I just want to let you know, Albert is listening on our live stream, and I gave him the phone number if he wants to call in. My comment is this: Gaza's already annihilated. There's no cleanup. Go look at some buildings. Like I'm gonna post this picture right now of one of the. It's really, really bad over there. So I'm putting a picture on our podcast. So the whole place is annihilated. With Israel continuing to strike them, how is anything going to get solved? And how is Israel going to fortify themselves? Right now, they're putting a lot of money and energy into arms and military training, and even putting their own soldiers at risk. Maybe not too much because they have good technology, but the thing is when is it going to end? How is it going to end? And how can they at least clean up Gaza? The war is over.
I looked at the map just a few minutes ago, and I saw exactly what Trump did. I mean, because I haven't really studied the layout of the land. I'm looking at that's like Santa Monica going down to San Diego. It's like coastline. Like put some hotels, put some cafe. Make it nice, make it fun. And that's what he was pitching to them. But with Hamas,
they can't do it though. They can't do it until Israel stops bombing.
Well, they want to just wipe it out so it's not usable for anything. So everyone will just leave it alone. I think that's kind of the strategy. I could be wrong, but they can't coexist. Right, so they're making it like they'll never be able to live there. I think that's kind of how it looks.
Well, all I know is that it's uninhabitable. It's on a prime piece of real estate. It's on the Mediterranean Ocean, and Mediterranean waters, and I just think it's really a tragedy. I can understand why people believe there's no hope in this world, because some world leaders are trying to fix things. The Ukrainian president really can't fix things either because Russia keeps firing the hell out of him every day. So I would like to hear from Wade and Don some of their input.
Okay, well, I'm wondering the death counts. I mean, I don't know, and I'm sure there's no way to know for sure because, different sides are going to report different things, but I wonder how many. Because one of the things I heard is they're not distinguishing soldier deaths from civilian deaths.
Well, John said it was 50-1. 50 Palestinians for every one Israeli.
Yeah, like 1,000 Israeli, 1,200 Israelis, and then like 50,000. But the other thing. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, are those Palestinian fighters? Are they Hamas?
No.
Or are they civilians?
56,000 people have died as of last week. I'd say maybe only. Who knows how many Hamas they are, because they're integrated into the society. Not all the leaders are open leaders. And about 5 months ago, Israel sent these pagers around to Lebanon and northern Gaza. And there was a bomb in the pagers, and people lost eyeballs and stuff. And some of them were family members. The civilians were targeted, even though they were targeting the Hamas. And a lot of people died through that scam. Basically, it was a scam in the sense that it was a non-warned warfare. They put like these explosive devices in pagers that the Hamas thought was being sent to them through their organization, but it was sent through Israel. All I know is there's death everywhere.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
all
it
I
seems smarter
know.
than just bombing. It sounds more targeted.
So let's just put it this way, okay? Let's say I was in charge of a peace organization in the U.S. and we had been living on our own compost for 20 years, like the Branch Davidians did in Texas. And we didn't necessarily kill anybody, but we had rallies that pissed people off. All of a sudden, one day the government comes in and they kill us. And because they feel like we're a threat to national security. And then they kill the whole town of Waco, Texas, because what the heck? Well, let's do it anyway. Like, what is the point of precision bombing and precision killing if they're just going to wipe out everybody?
Yeah. I mean, I would favor more precision and not, instead of wiping out everyone.
Now, back when the Hamas started ruling in Palestine, the average citizen didn't have a choice. They didn't really want the Hamas group in there as their government leaders, but it was overpowered by some other group that was probably more level-headed. And Israel has felt threatened for years, but in the last 30 years, Israel has beefed up their security on borders. They don't just let any Tom, Dick, and Harry in their border. They have to have a legitimate reason. And I'm sure there was only a small percentage of Gaza people even working in Israel. So the main thing is things have just, it's an unsolvable problem. I don't see a lot of world leadership. As far as that, we hear more about tariffs and tinkering with economic policies. Don's calling in for the 4th time. Thank you, Don. So, Don, either shit or get off the pot.
Hello?
Don?
Is Don alive?
Yeah, Don is here, but he hasn't been here for a while. My phone's been acting up. I think somebody probably hacked it. Elon Musk, because me and Trump are such good friends. And Musk wants to, he wants to destroy Trump now. So
5 minutes ago, you were on the air. So I think your burner phone that was made from microchips is a piece of shit.
yeah, well, I've got an Apple 2, so I'm a little bit behind.
Okay, so could you please comment on what Wade and John and I said?
I don't know what you said. That all I heard was that. What did you say?
Well, Wade said there was conflicting news stories about, like, Israel is not properly represented in the sense that they don't know the devastation of the October 7th incident. Now, I have seen theorists on the internet say that Israel allowed that attack to occur. They allowed that attack to occur at the music festival. So
I don't think they allowed it per se. They might have known about it, but didn't believe Hamas was going to do that. But the thing is, you guys referred to it early on. Hello, Wade.
Hi, Don.
In a while.
Don, can you say hi to Albert? He's in the live stream chat room.
Damn, this is old folks recur. Hey, Albert. Okay, he may not be able to talk.
He can't talk. He can only type.
That's fine. Hell, that's no problem as long as he's good. But the thing is that it's all about power. I was listening to the show early on before I got messed up. My phone got messed up. And the one thing people don't understand is power. These us around wherever they want us to move. And they, when I say they, I'm talking about they goes along with Trump and along with Obama, along with.
Are you saying that Israel has America in their back pocket?
You're damn right. So does Ukraine. Zelensky. All these guys are playing the same game of chess with their own pieces, and we are suffering. We're paying for this shit. That's what our taxes are for. And we're paying to be used as puppets and pawns. And it's really, really sad to see America go down like that because we're losing our identity. I mean, John, I think, referred to it right before I left, something about identity, but I didn't get to hear what it was. But we're losing our identity as Americans, and, we're losing our identities as gender. These guys are going out here right now, and they're doing things just to prove that they're guys. We're losing our identity when it comes down to wars because we don't have a choice. If it's a war, technically the Congress has to declare it. And Trump and Vance and Lenome and those guys, they were calling this the 12-day war. We should be able to sue Trump for declaring a war without congressional consent. If we do a class action, I think they'll fly. We're stupid. The people are just dumb because they are put to sleep by baubles and spirits and guys who enthrall them. And so it doesn't.
What are you talking about?
It doesn't.
Well, it's because Don is hardwired to CNN and MSNBC.
So does he think that the sleep? Does he think the sleep app is a bauble?
If you follow the news, Donald Trump, the white man, got the black men in Congo and Rwanda to stop fighting. He also got Iran to bow the knee because for years Biden and Obama empowered. In fact, they gave $1 billion. Remember that? They ran money over to Iran.
John. I have that whole story. John, I have that whole story because I was challenged on social media. Obama gave the money. Obama gave them
to agree to ceasefire. No one else got anyone. No one else has gotten them.
John, it's about the money.
Yes, it's always about money.
They needed the cobalt that comes from that area.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why it was. It wasn't because
it's smart.
The social inequities and wars. It was because he wanted to make money.
There's a rat inside the grocery store.
And get peace too.
There's a rat inside the grocery store.
Does Pat want to say something?
Well, think about this. The other presidents, including Obama, didn't get peace there, and they didn't get anything. They got nothing. That's stupid.
Okay, can I say?
Smart guy. He got peace, and he got stuff out of it. Isn't that good?
I want to say something. Obama paid back Iran the money that was stored in our banks from the 70s when the Ayatollah took over. He also gave them interest from a European bank. He didn't give them money just to be a. He didn't do it. Well, you know what? They're not the only threat in the world. And I'll quote Albert. We're the one making all the proxy wars all over the world. We're a threat too.
And that's why Trump is getting us out of that stuff.
Well, did you know Marjorie Taylor Greene turned her back on Trump now? She said because
everybody does. Nobody knows Trump. You guys underestimate him. You don't even know who he is.
Because
you want Iran to have nuclear capability? Really?
Some of the Republicans.
I don't want Iran to have anything capability.
Right. So he took it to him. Isn't that what we want?
Oh my God! Are you hearing the reports? The reports are saying that it relatively failed woefully. That that 400. They're talking about it today.
Oh, you want to blow up the whole country and then keep hitting it till you find out where it's at? He bombed this.
But we don't have those kind of bombs. Those are special bombs. They're not even made. You know.
He assassinated, or they wiped out, was it 14 of the 15 of the nuclear scientists? He did a pretty good job.
Okay, well,
Yeah, he did a pretty good
who's
job.
screaming? The hardcore Trumpsters are mad because they said by Trump going into Iran, he's not looking out for America.
Right. Well, that's exactly why I went after Iran. Do you understand? The Ayatollah wants to nuke the whole world to bring the Mahdi, their Messiah. They want him to save the world by blowing up the world. They're the only one that have this philosophy.
Did you understand that?
Okay, John. I did some research.
She's not the president.
Okay, John. I did some research.
Okay, so it doesn't matter who's upset. It's just shut down Iran, get them to stop fighting, get Palestine and Israel to stop fighting, get Congo, Rwanda, get Ukraine and Russia. Trump doesn't control them. These people do what they want. He's the only one stepping in there and saying stop it, right? He said, I don't want no more bloodshed. That's not his fault. Is it Trump's fault that Ukraine and Russia?
No, we're not. We're not just talking about. Okay, we're gonna take turns. I'm going 2 minutes, and then Wade is going to go 2 minutes. So I want to say something. 2 weeks ago, John, you gave a monologue about Muslim belief systems. So the reason the Sunnis and the Shias had their original rift is because one group believed that Abu Bakr, his Muhammad's wingman, should be the successor to the Islamic religion, and the other one believed that Muhammad's brother-in-law should be the successor. So the rift was about who should succeed. Now this Mahdi thing is not exactly what all Islamic believers believe, because I'll tell you, I'm friends with 2 Muslims from Bangladesh. What they believe is that they believe in peace in the world just like the Christians do. But only the Islamic extremists believe that the Christians and the Jews have to be purged in the same way the extreme Christians believe that Islam has to be purged. So not everybody believes that the second coming of Christ or the second coming of their Messiah can only be achieved through violence. So I'm going to let Hezbollah and all those guys. I'm just that's extreme.
They're the ones pushing the buttons.
I know, but they are the extremists. They're not the general population of Islamic people praying on a mat every day and giving to charity.
It's always by the extremists, by the leadership of the group. So you have to address the rest are sheep. I get it. Muslims are nice, Christians are nice, but the ruling party will kill you. They will.
Well, do you think that my friend from Bangladesh who runs a shop in downtown LA of herbs and spices is her leader is the Hamas?
No, but they want Islam in our country. You know, New York. You know that the Como lost to the destroyer Zoan,
a Middle Eastern guy.
Right, and you know what he wants? He wants to defund the police. He wants state-run grocery store. He wants no ICE. He wants, just everyone. Tax the rich so they'll leave.
All the guns.
And he wants to take all the guns. And this is a guy who's running now for mayor against I think Eric Adams. I think.
Okay. I read an article about state-run grocery stores. I read the article. Some of them already exist, and a similar comparison is WIC stores, where poor moms go to get milk, cheese, and other staples.
He says they shouldn't be billionaires. So in other words, like Amazon, Facebook, YouTube, Google, all that stuff gone. like Sergey Brin, Zuckerberg, which actually would be a better world in my opinion. But the point is, they wouldn't be allowed to he's a total socialist, a total communist.
I believe in taking all the guns away. Now, I'd like to hear from Wade or Don.
Go for it. Oh, and by the way, he hasn't proven. These are just proposals. Like I have a proposal of what we want to do. It's not like, oh, I ran this in a city and it was successful. He's like these are my ideas. It's like it's going to be a perfect utopian world. But go ahead and
they're never gonna. There's too many people who own guns in New York. It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I remember Democrats wanted to defund the police a while back. And it's like, if you defund the police and you take away gun rights, like, I think basically that's saying we plan on only the criminals only the thugs having guns. That's a recipe for, if we can't protect people, then you have to allow them. The problem is when the government, which seems to be the case a lot I hear, is where the government will crack down on the people who are defending themselves and let the people that are just initiating the harm and violence on innocent people run wild. And that's a problem. If you're not going to protect people, you got to let them protect themselves.
I don't believe in defunding the police, but it was my state, Minnesota, that was guilty of it.
Okay. They could try the honor system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The weird thing is a couple of weeks ago when those 2 state senators got shot here and their spouses, the cops were in the driveway at one of the places and they didn't even stop the assailant because he was disguised in police clothing.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, the police aren't always. I support the police now because I have a couple of police friends in Duluth, but the thing is the police can't always get a handle of what's going on either. Most of the time, yeah.
There's got to be difference too. I mean, these people are fighting against gun control, fighting against, the lack of police presence when it should be. It's a dichotomy. You can't please everybody all the time.
How come Trump's the only one who wants peace?
I want peace.
I feel, John, the way that you frame your questions, actions.
Did Putin negotiate peace? No. Zelensky? No. Did Netanyahu? No. The Ayatollah? No. Trump's the only one saying stop killing each other.
Well, Zelensky can't because they're bombing the crap out of their country every day. He doesn't have any reprieve.
And he told them, he said, these people don't know what the F they're doing. He said, I'm tired of Israel, and both of them, he said, they're messing it up.
He said both Israel and Iran they've been fighting each other for so long, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
So what does that say about Trump?